Alrighty, y'all. Once again, Monday. Freaking genius, dude. Stop it. I know. This is absolute genius. How y'all doing? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Good to see you. Right off the bat of this stream, I just want to say I'm switching things up a little bit here on my end, and I have completely changed the way the audio works on this stream. So please bear with me if the sound is a little off today and tomorrow and possibly the next stream. Just let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. I can no longer directly hear what you guys are hearing through music. Now, I'm gonna keep trying to figure that out myself, but they don't make this technology to work as well as you want it to. So it's going to definitely be a little bit of a working process. Please let me know if the music is too loud, if you can't hear it, if there's anything wrong with it, and slowly I will get better at making sure it's under control. But with this new way of recording the stream, I'm hoping that I will now be able to start getting back to recording gameplay for you guys, and because that gameplay channel hasn't released a video in like over a month. And yeah, and we can keep doing our streams as we do. Hello, friends. Hi. Now that I'm done with all that, I can say hi to you all. It's been a cool minute. Missed ya. But there's some interesting stuff going on this week. So maybe music a little bit lower. Okay, thank you. Good to know. There we go. How is that? So if you prefer the high volume of this new speed metal you're playing, we should speak up. Yeah, well, apparently some of you like it. Tier 0 sound refactor. It's Star Sound. Or no, they call it Star Audio, huh? Alright, I might also be a little bit shiny today. I got some sunscreen on because we're doing a whole skin thing. You know how it is. But I'm just happy to be here. It's good to see you all. How's everybody's week going? What you been up to? You having a good time? File in. Let's get into the positive garden. I'm gonna call us the positive garden today because, oh snap, we're gonna be positive today. Yeah, let's see how long that lasts. We're actually diving into some interesting discussion today. Before we get started, I'm going to jump us into Alpha 4.1 and we're going to take a look at how it's playing and performing, and if it really does seem like it's ready to go live this week. But before we get into that, first I want to check out the new No Man's Sky trailer because, oh, Inzoe put out a trailer. Huh. I've heard it's been a little rough in Zoe so far, but nice to see an actual realistic competitor to The Sims, at least starting somewhere. But yeah, I wanted to check out the No Man's Sky trailer and give some 2 cents on that. See what they're freaking still putting out these updates for. And then there's an interesting thread on Reddit that I wanted to touch on with you guys about really the idea behind playing Star Citizen without actually flying ships. There is a big debate kind of forming in this thread between people who are like, hey, there's too many seats in these ships that it's kind of wasteful because nobody's ever going to want to use them. Nobody wants to be a turret gunner all the time and stuff like that. And then there are other people who are like, well, you know, sometimes I'm interested in that. Some people are. Some of the game is made around this. It's more multiplayer focused, that kind of thing. So I wanted to get into this with you guys a little bit to see what people were saying and talk about that topic a bit because it comes up a lot. And I'm always kind of surprised by the anecdotes people use. Good timing, you just reinstalled SC after a year of boycotting for lack of content. Well, welcome back. I hope the boycott treated you well. You got to play some other good games in the meantime. Ooh, Mrs. T made me some tea. And it's so good. When do you think 4.1 will hit? Today, tomorrow, or more towards the end, like Friday? I think Friday. Friday at the earliest, in my opinion. Spent last weekend in DC for the Cherry Blossom Festival. Oh, that probably is amazing, huh? Have you, did you take any pictures? Post any in the Discord? We're probably, I think, I'm going to see if I could take Mrs. Tomato to see the poppy fields this year. That would be cool. Because California's got its flower thing over here, too. We got flowers. What do you mean encoders overloading OBS? Shut up. Hope the move went well. Thank you, Hot Snakes. The move was a move. There's always some unforeseen complications. There's always some very, very nice realizations.
Toes.
And overall, it is a process. But we have basically gotten ourselves settled in. You know, the little things here and there need to be moved around, but we're feeling a lot better. In fact, Mrs. Tomato was just saying, our situation right now is so much better than it was this time last year, and we're really grateful for that. Thank you for the good wishes, and I'm glad you like the content. Danger Hobo. It's funny seeing somebody called Danger Hobo saying positive mindset, but you know what? I'm here for it. You're gonna be digging a fence today? Your favorite chore, is that like work, or are you building up a fence? Now that we've moved into a home, guys, I'm like getting my hype for home improvement projects is building, and I'm starting to understand. Are the countertops quartz? No, they're granite. You personally prefer to use smaller ships. If you're going to be on a bigger ship, you'd rather be a crew member. Same here. I'm flabbergasted at the amount of people who don't know that we don't want, like, that there are people who play Star Citizen who don't fly ships. I've been here since the beginning, and I've never been drawn primarily by the space flight of the game. And I know the direction that this game has gone really bugs people, because it was supposed to be more space focused, more focused on just the space flight. The game has expanded a ton to include a whole bunch of different professions in different scenarios, and I'm grateful for that, because I don't like flying the spaceships, but I understand that some people who do like flying the spaceships are also obviously a little disappointed in that direction. What I don't understand is the people who don't recognize that direction and still think that everybody who plays Star Citizen came here to fly spaceships. Because like half the stuff they show in their trailers are people not flying spaceships. It's just, it's A and B, it's math. A and B is not math.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I'm a bit of an idiot. Just have to fix your fence. Okay, I got you. Well, it's not as much as putting a whole new fence up. You only just watched the CitizenCon Squadron 42 gameplay. Really like the flashback from the start idea. There's way too much repetition in the gameplay and even very tropey story. The story's super tropey. But that, I think, is part of why it's so familiar to people. Honestly, I was not the only person who watched that and was reminded of Halo Combat Evolved story. And I think that's purposeful. I think they're going for that kind of... I mean, it's also Chris Roberts. I don't think he's ever been involved in something that wasn't a little tropey. But yeah, the gameplay was repetitive. I think there's some bits, some of the turret section that could probably be cut down a bit, and a little bit of the EVA section. But I also, yeah, I think that's how I'm feeling. A and B can be maths. This is true. Usually we go with X and Y, though. You love the jobs aspect. You're a cargo and miner junkie. Yeah, I freaking love, like, the idea of going on a job board and finding somebody's freaking beat up, broken down Drake ironclad hauler, and they're like, yo, I'm not huge on keeping this thing up to speed. I'll pay you, but you got to keep my ship running. It's a hunk of junk. I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, dude. Let me go. Some people in the thread are like, I don't want to play with strangers. I'm like, bruh, we're not strangers. We're fellow masochists. We suffer together. Like, we've all been through this. I know there will be people who are joining this game who didn't go through it all, but there's gonna be so many people who just think about this game the same way as you. Just gotta figure out how to identify them. Frisch, thank you, by the way, for the sub. 15 months. Appreciate you, dude. Was the sound too loud? That might be part of this. Let's see. Hold on, let's see. How about now? Seems a little bit better on my end. Just bought a home recently. Other than the obvious cost of buying the home, it has been the most expensive thing I've ever done. Constant money leakage. Whew. Yeah. That's, houses are a lot. Also, depending on where you go. Oh, the volume was just sad. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. By the way, good to see you, AAK. AAK is a great friend. If you need a great friend, he's a great friend. Good folk in chat. Danger Hobo, good to see you in chat as well. Gunslinger, Voren, welcome in, guys. Mark, Hot Snakes, appreciate you being in here. You come to many of the live streams? Also, Misa Phoenix, good to see you. Koru, Nova Forge. Hey, Nova Forge. How you doing, buddy? Radical Jams. 14.8. CR created the tropes people refer to when they say it's tropes. That's kind of, yeah, that's the, yeah, from what I've seen. I just watched Wing Commander for the first time a couple months ago. Shout out to Vasid. Thank you for your movie nights, dude. Freaking love them. And good lord, I'm glad that the standard of writing has gone up since then, because we can probably expect a better put together story. Watching the stream on the big screen TV. You know, I saw some feedback coming from YouTube recently, and they were giving us some like creator insights on how people are watching. And a couple things were interesting. One is that average watch time has gone up a ton. I'm sure I'm not the only one who watches. Me and Mrs. Tomato watch like 30 to 180 minute long documentaries on YouTube regularly. Like, we use YouTube more than Netflix at this point. We don't even use Netflix now. So YouTube's like, yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing long series. That's great. I'm like, well, you know, launch sequence, you know what's up. But the other thing they said was that more people are now watching YouTube on televisions than on computers. I think that was what they said. It was either that, or it was like there was a record number for some period of time. But there is like a huge amount of people watching YouTube on TVs now compared to before. So I gotta fix my skin. Ridican, what's up? Timber, how you doing? Slowbo. Marco Marcus. Mateo, good to see you. Citizen Earth 07's Astro Monkey. You knew when you saw that Matthew Lillard was in it. Matt Lillard. I just realized I need to make sure I don't drop out of this channel. By the way, when I do get into the PTU, it's going to be about 20-ish minutes, 30 minutes. If you're in GII and you want to join, it's going to be open. Is the stream 1080p? I think it is. I really want to update the stream. I want to go higher. I definitely want to go to at least 1440p or 4K, but I'm going to need a much heftier graphics card before we do that. So someday we're going to go high quality, super clear, but make sure my pores are good before then. Never watch anything else on your TV anymore? Just YouTube? Yeah. Ads on TV, YouTube apps are ridiculous. We both use premium. Thank God. With the rise of internet TV, many folks use apps on top box, yeah, and load up YouTube over regular TV, yeah. It's freaking crazy how long it took. I remember in like 2009, we were going through the whole cord cutting movement, and it's only just probably the last, I think it took the pandemic to finally usher in the last people to using apps on TVs instead of going through cable, and cable's still super popular, and Dish. But geez, it took a while. How much internet speed do you need to stream at 4K? I'm pretty sure I've got to be doing around Well, I'm running 2 streams, and it depends on how you stream. I'm going to change up our streams soon so that we're actually sending out 2 separate feeds to both platforms instead of one speed split into 2. That will allow us to hit 4K on Twitch. It'll allow us to use specific features on either platform that we want, but it also means we probably have to do like 10,000 megabits upload, I would say, megabits per second. All right, folks. I think we've taken enough time to let everybody file on in. How about we get to discussion of the days? First, I want to look at No Man's Sky. Because, well, it's pretty straightforward. They have released themselves a new... Man, I really need to get some, like, manual music controls here for this music. Okay. They have released themselves a new update. Well, at least a new trailer for an update. I'm guessing the update's out too. That's how they usually do it. What's his name? Almost called him Todd. I'm so sorry, Sean. Sean Murray, I think it is. He'll hop on Twitter and drop a couple of emotes here and there over the course of days. And then there will be an update on No Man's Sky. And it's gone like this for like 8 years. They just keep releasing more and more updates. I kid you not. This is the most updated game I think I've ever seen. And it's still, they don't charge money. They're just like, hey, buy the game. And it works out for us. And it's been working out for them. So here's a new update they released, Relics 5.6. I have no freaking idea what it is about, but we'll watch it and then talk about it.
Relics brings archaeology to No Man's Sky. Design your own skeleton
Wait. Is dinosaurs in space? I don't believe it. Nonsense. There's never been other life.
Create your own museum. Barter to find the rarest exhibits. But some things are buried for a reason.
Because they suck? I gotta say, of all the things that I have played No Man's Sky for, the most annoying part to me is the combat. And I'm not sure if they should, if in their mind, if I was in their position, I would try and make the combat more fun, or if I would just try and draw attention to the other parts of the game. Because Elite Dangerous, back in the day, they had this whole strength of exploration, and it was like, okay, cool. I'm going to play this game to explore places. But then they were like, nah, we're going to start including ground locations with combat. And everybody was like, kind of, well, okay, we wanted space legs, but not so we could go to ground locations for combat. And now they're doing other things like colonization, which emphasizes exploration. But I feel like games should play to their strengths. And No Man's Sky does keep adding a lot of combat. When I'm like, I don't know about the combat in this game. But I know some people do like it, so maybe it's there for a reason.
More will follow.
No Man's Sky team's pretty small. Yeah, it's a pretty small group. It's grown, but it's still pretty small. I just did a video on it a few months ago that just highlighting the size of the team. And yeah, they can keep their costs down as long as they're selling the game. They're making money. And if you make a good game these days and that game plays well, then people will come and buy it. I think that's one of the biggest things that is now more widely accepted. Sorry, that was loud. You can just like have a good game and it'll get word of mouth and it'll start to spread. And there's enough people out there that if you can find your audience, you can make some good sales. And No Man's Sky found their audience. But I think a lot of people get into the game, try it, and then kind of fall out pretty quickly. I know I do every time I start playing it. And there's a dedicated community there, but I don't think that it has as wide mass appeal as it does seem with how well the game's been progressing over time. Either way, there's a new update there for anybody who wants to try it out. We, of course, have our channel over on the Discord. Maybe I'll get a chance to jump in, but I don't think so with 4.1 coming. But I'm hoping that this still keeps getting major updates as it keeps going. and they start working more on Light No Fire. But I look forward to that too. Anyways, speaking of 4.1, let's get to that. Elite Space Legs brought you to Star Citizen. You're just like looking for something that did more of that. Elite's ground combat has potential to just sort of abandon it right after adding it. I feel like that's because people didn't want combat. You want to walk around your ship on Elite? Think they went the wrong way with Elite feet. Yes, that's what a lot of people were saying back then. They're like, hey, we really did want to be able to run around, but not on planets, but on the space station. I mean, you want planets too, but the spaceships, rather, are pretty cool. Opposite of SC, loads of content, too few focus on mechanics. Honestly, I think they focused too much on specific mechanics and not enough on content. But kind of hyper-focused. When they're going to add rain, you've been waiting. I would assume rain comes whenever they update weather next. What time am I streaming until today? About 3 more hours I'll be live. No Man's Sky was your first space sim. Consider it a gateway as you played SC afterwards. Yes, so I was hoping that Starfield would actually be that for a huge group of people. Starfield would be a big mainstream space-based RPG that captured a lot of people and showed them that space games had like interesting mechanics, but maybe that they wanted something else to dive into them more with. And I think it did that to some extent. I think there's plenty of people who got to play Starfield and then realized, oh, okay, I want to play Space Engineers instead, or I want to play No Man's Sky or Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen instead, but it could have been a lot more significant moment. Exodus could be that. Exodus could also be something like that. My point being, if all of the space games that were out right now were out back in 2008, and it was as easy to build a computer back then as it is now, then Mass Effect probably would have brought a ton of people to a game like Star Citizen. And so I'm waiting to see what kind of game like that might come out and do that now. You remember playing the original Elite back in the 80s? Being able to walk around a Cobra would be so awesome. A lot of folks that started out on Elite come through this chat. Come through these places. You think CIG's focused too much on combat? I like to poke fun at them for including combat in everything, but I do think that because combat has the most working mechanics, it makes sense to focus on it and dial it in. I do wish we'd get more content in other categories, though. Ava! How you doing today? You gonna jump in game with us? Starfield was doomed the moment Bethesda said it still used the same engine Morrowind used in 2001. They can update the engine. It's about the company and what they're gonna do. I mean, I think it's let's see. Creation is came from Dunya, right? And Dunya came from, I can't remember. But I mean, like, Unreal Engine 5 is the same engine that they used to build Unreal Tournament back in 2000, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Like, you just got to keep it up to date, you know? And the Creation engine could could use some updates. You can mod Starfield to have every single thing that Star Citizen does, except multiplayer and a flight system. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, mods only go so far. I think the most The reason people stick to Star Citizen isn't because what it is now, it's because of the guarantee that it has $700 million of funding, 1,000 employees, and like 3 different studios behind it. So it's not like the mods dropped and then you get to play with them. It's like the updates dropped and then you're expecting there to be another update, and then another update, and then another update, and more progress. It's that security. It's a game security. Game security. Getting new internet installed? Oh, congratulations. No way Unreal 1 is what they used to make Unreal 5. Off-the-shelf product, they need to keep it up to date because people pay to use it. Creation engine has been left to rot. Well, yeah. But I mean, take CryEngine. As Misa said, CryEngine started with what? Far Cry 1? I think in like 2000, was it 2003 or 2005 or something? I think, let's see, what else is there? I think how old is the ID Tech engine? What even is the engine they use? Is ID Tech. First ID Tech engine. Because they're on 7 right now. When did this start? ID Tech 3 was on Quake 3. Oh my god. Wait, what is this? Holy crap. What is this gem we just came across? This is the path of the ID Tech, the Quake engine. Look at how many different freaking... This is a spaghetti monster. Counter-Strike? Yeah, dude. See, Bethesda has no excuse if the... Because the ID Tech engine works really freaking well. Wait, when did it split off to run Call of Duty? Infinity Ward uses ID Tech? Huh? IW. A game engine initially based on ID Tech. What? Mind blown. Call of Duty runs on the ID Tech engine? Are you kidding me? I never would have guessed that connection. That's wild. Dude, game engines are crazy. What else is on here? Left 4 Dead 2? That makes sense. Actually, does it? Isn't Left 4 Dead made by, wasn't that Valve? Left 4 Dead was developed by, yeah, Valve. Why wouldn't it use Source? Wait. Oh, this is Source. Never mind. This is fun though. I like being able to look at how game engines move around. So yeah, that all makes sense. ID Tech became Source Engine, became IW Engine. It's probably also freaking Snowdrop or something. Wild. Yeah, dude. I mean, Bethesda has no excuse. id, right? I'm a dork. I'm a nerd. I call it ID. You used to play No Man's Sky since launch, but when you play Star Citizen, you see why one of your favorite YouTubers never came back to No Man's Sky. Wait, did Cobra start out on No Man's Sky? I did not know that. I didn't know that Titanfall was built on Source. I didn't know that Apex Legends was built on Source. What? I would have thought Titanfall was... what's it called? Yeah, it's on Source. Does Respawn just use Source? I would have thought... I guess that's good that EA never forced them to use Frostbite for Titanfall, or else it would have collapsed. Wow. Good for them. So that just goes to show that, like, you can make a good engine, you can make it last, you can make it robust, and you can make it for a whole bunch of different games. Honestly, why doesn't id Tech try and take on Epic a little bit? I guess it's just not in the game plans. It's not worth it. Well, that was a cool little rabbit hole. Oh yeah, I know the Star Engine story. Probably much too... I've gone over it too much at this point, but that it just goes to show that if you can make a good engine, if you can cater it to what you need, then it can do wonders for you. Yeah, I miss Titanfall. Is Rockstar's engine based on another Rage? I don't think so. I think they made that. I think they made that with their parent company back in the day. Created by Rage, yeah, at Rockstar, with contributions from Rockstar. Okay, I thought they had done it with 2K, but I guess not. Wow, it debuted in 2006? Angel. I see, okay. Angel Studios used the game engine Angel Real-Time Simulation. I see. And then they turned into, okay, they got bought by Take-Two, absorbed into Rockstar, and basically were turned into Rockstar San Diego. So Angel Studios is Rockstar San Diego. They made Rage, and it stuck with them ever since. Which basically means that the Rage engine that makes Grand Theft Auto is... How long is that? 27 years old? So, like, we've got decades-old engines running some of the most successful games in the world. And they're even working on something like server meshing in this engine. So, Bethesda, what you doing? What are you doing? All right. Let's talk about turrets. This is an interesting thread that I saw pop up on Reddit, courtesy of Ultheodon. I don't like spam them or anything. I'm just sharing what I think is an interesting discussion, because it comes up quite a bit, and it's something I've kind of tried to gauge interest on in the past, which is like how many people don't want to play Star Citizen just to fly ships. But it always comes up with the sort of expectation that most people join Star Citizen, or everybody joins Star Citizen because they want to fly spaceships, and I think a lot of people do. The first thing that brought me into the game was the spaceships. I will say that 325A commercial. It's very nice for the time. Hold on, let's just see how nice it was for the time, because at this point, here we go. No, this is not the 325A commercial. My God. Is this it? Oh, this isn't even it. Get out of here. Hold on. That's it. No.
You know I love you, right?
Stop it. It's... Yeah, 300 series. Here we go. This commercial...
If someone were to ask you, what is speed? What would you tell them?
What would you tell them?
Is it simply a measure of distance covered over time?
It's velocity, yes.
The magnitude of velocity?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Or is it something more? At origin, speed is more than a number.
It's a drug.
It's a state of being.
Oh.
Speed is a shock to the soul. Speed is a call to action. Speed is...
Like this shot, I'm pretty sure I was sold at this point. Because all I've been thinking is, oh my gosh, there are spaceships and I can walk around and the spaceships look pretty cool. And that's really all I was looking for. I didn't need anything else. The freaking bar wasn't high. The last space game I played was Mass Effect 3. And then all the other ones started getting canceled. So,
Introducing
yeah,
the 2943 300i
the spaceships got me.
from Origin Jumpworks.
But then I looked at what Star Citizen was, and immediately I didn't care to fly them ships. I wanted to be this guy. I wanted to be out here walking around with ships around me, but I didn't want to fly them. I wanted to be on board them and stuff. And I think there are probably other people like that. I'm not saying that everybody's like that, or the majority even of people are like that, but I think it's a reasonable thing to consider that some people don't want to fly. Anyways, getting into this post, it says, nobody, and I say nobody, will ever want to sit in a turret for just being able to activate QED or IEM. That, honestly, I wouldn't say nobody emphatically, but yeah, I bet most people do not want to just do QED or IEM or just E-War stuff, and those ships are going to have to see more features come to the availability of the people in those ships. But yeah, for something like that, it's going to be more boring. Even basic turrets with weapons are questionable. Why one person would sit in a turret while they could fly their own ship, have more impact in fights with better agility and more firepower. So that's where I think it goes a little bit wrong, because there's a whole gradient of why people are going to sit in these seats, right? Some people would want nothing to do with pressing a QED button, but other people might be, hey, I'll be on board your ship. I'll get in the turret if you run into trouble, but in the meantime, I'm just going to be, I don't know, cleaning and repairing my weapons in the cargo hold, or I'm going to be moving some of the cargo around our ship, or hell, I'll be doing some refining while we're flying around. You can still do other stuff on the ship. There's this little game you might have never heard of, not super popular. It's called Sea of Thieves, and in that game, you don't do just one thing. You kind of scramble around and do a bunch of different things. And I don't think that's what everyone's going to do. We have orgs, we have roles, we have a lot of people who do prepared gameplay. But I think that there are going to be, most of people who play in multi-crew ships are going to be like, I'm going to do whatever seat is open, and we're just going to play around with it as we go. Getting into the comments though, there's some good discussion on it. This person said, I've actually seen people asking to man a turret. One person in particular said they did not want to fly their own ship at all. Different people like different things. This person said, I could be one of those, but OP has a point. And I think that's kind of the general consensus. But there is, I think, still this weird belief that nobody's going to want to do anything but fly ships. The idea that, why would you sit in a turret when you could fly your own ship? There are so many times when you can just be sitting in a turret for transportation, and you just get in the turret to help them fly while they're going somewhere. But the obvious answer to this is NPC crew, right? People really want NPC crew so that they can put butts in these seats. And I'm wondering if the AI blades will be able to control manned turrets at any point. Barotrauma is so fun and chaotic. I hope SC gets close with engineering. I heard Barotrauma is really fun. Hey, Star Jump, no problem on the name drop, dude. Thanks for joining me for that. Honestly, I wrote that video so long ago, so when I did it, it was supposed to come out the week after we did our talk, and then it would have been fresh and people could have gone and watched that and gone to your channel, but it took... I had a solid 3 weeks of just videos not being able to come out on Space Tomato, so it's a little backlogged. Zarek said, solid 20% of my org is more interested in being a gunner than a pilot, but what I found is more dependent on if they trust the pilot. Interesting. If they trust the pilot. Do you mean if they trust the pilot to not kill them, or if they trust the pilot to just give them good gameplay? Because some people don't want to fly with folks who they just think are going to crash into a mountain. A lot of it has to do with gameplay. If you're on a ship with nothing to do, that can be boring. Absolutely. Gameplay and content. We're still looking at the game as if it's all that there's going to be. If, I know this is a big if, okay? This is the most extreme example of what they can do for people who are sitting in a turret and bored. Arena Commander is a simulated app on your Moby Glass that lets you log into a deathmatch or something, or a race, whenever you want. Okay, I'm gonna get that out of the way. That's crazy. But we do have sim pods, and we have always been led to the understanding that sim pods would be able to sit in your ship cargo hold, and you can hop in it to access Arena Commander. On top of that, we've got weapons and stuff to repair and fix. Clearly, they're putting more stuff on board of ships to help them be customized and a little bit more interesting. Chessboards, pool tables, desks. These are very, very lame excuses. I'm not saying these are going to handle all of the idea of you're bored during quantum travel. Just like pointing to the fact that this stuff can continue to expand, more things can be introduced. It's not always just going to be you're sitting on your ship waiting to get to the next quantum travel destination or something like that. Unless you're on a small ship, then I'm sorry. You're kind of screwed. Like if you're flying across Pyro in a Pisces, unfortunate. You like turret combat more than you like being in a single seat fighter? So do I. You hate sitting in turrets? That's fair. You and your friend have so much fun crewing our Polaris. How about we do a little poll here? I think I have to start it on YouTube. How much time do you want to spend specifically flying ships? Always? Never? More than 50% and less than 50%. All right, YouTube. Tell me what you think. It's probably not a perfect poll, but I'm putting that up. I want to see what you guys have to say about how often you want to be specifically flying the ship when you're on board of one. If somebody could copy that over to Twitch, that would be fantastic. I'd love to see what they have to say too. SC needs more things to do when doing long distance treks. Would be nice to have mini games for a crew when going between planets. Yeah, something good, some more stuff that's good to do on the ship that's actually functional would be great. Maverick, thank you for the bits today, my friend. And Ananzi with the sub. Appreciate you, dude. 26 months now. And modding. Maybe they can make multiple modes for ships. Solo mode is the least efficient your ship can be. But if you have crew tinkering and optimizing components, then you get the most out of your ship. Yeah, I think that's exactly what the tuning is going to do. At least if you're doing things that push your ship. If you're just like cruising around, it probably doesn't matter too much. You read books? That's not bad. Pretty sure you're in the minority with this, but you are not a fan of the idea of AI blades and do not think a single ship should be able to 1v1 any multi-crew ship or of a similar class. Oh, a solo ship. I don't think AI blades are going to allow a 1v1 situation. I think they're more going to be like defensive kind of thing. Because if you think about it, even if you're soloing a ship that has, like, let's say a constellation you're soloing, but you have AI blades on turrets, you're going to be so outclassed so quickly. because you won't be able to repair anything. You won't be able to shift your shields very well or your power. You won't be able to decide, hey, if I've lost a fuse in my ship, I have to decide between either piloting the ship and continuing to turn it to face my attacker, or running back to shunt that power off to a different remote turret so that that one can pick up where the other left off. It's, I think there's going to be several different things that make that more and more difficult. Anunzi, your Warframe thing? I have a friend who, when Railjacks came to Warframe, never wanted to fly. You love flying, so you would immediately hop at the pilot seat. He would do the small engineering stuff and boarding other ships. Those people who don't want to fly ships and will just sit in the turret do exist. I'm one of them. I don't want to fly ships. I'm gonna have to because I want to go places and I want to take part in gameplay that requires you to fly a ship. But at any point, if I'm with some other person, I'm not flying. That's just how I roll. All right. But the conversation continues here. This person said, while I somewhat agree when it comes to QED specific seats, I think you severely underestimate the amount of people who have zero interest in the flight portion of this game, but a massive interest in being a gunner. To counter that, the next person said, you are severely overestimating how many people would want to be dedicated gunners, especially considering the ratio of turrets to pilots. Plus, you will need to fill even more non-pilot roles like engineers and so on. This is true. And I think there's going to be a lot of disappointment surrounding the larger ships, like maybe the Perseus and higher, when people are like, oh, I don't have friends for this ship. This all sort of hinges on how social this game ends up being. If CIG can manage to actually make people act like humans together and work together and do things and protect themselves from bad actors at the same time, this could be a huge success. If they can't do that, this could be a really big problem for the game. Because this is true, there are a lot of seats to fill in some of these ships if you want to have them run at top efficiency, but I'm betting most ships just won't be running at top efficiency. And if you're in a big ship, you're gonna be OP almost if you have a full crew. Whereas if you are... I think the meta for this game is always going to be fill whatever ship you can. If you have 5 people, take a 5-person ship. Don't take a 10-person ship. If you have 3 people, take a 3-person ship. Don't take a 5-person ship, that kind of thing. Efficiency is going to be key. Star Citizen could have their own version of Gwent for something to do when traveling with nothing else to do. Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. For Star Citizen to have a card game, like some kind of card game that developed over time. It came from the Banu and it was adopted into the UEE, and then you learn it in Squadron and you're playing it in Star Citizen. I just hope they hire someone to come up with that game. Okay, Star Citizen, you don't need to come up with the logic behind that game. Just find whoever made Gwent or something. I think as soon as there is enough gameplay and big experiences like the 4.1 Hather thing, then not flying won't matter as much. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, freaking ding, yes. Freaking ding. That is, yeah. Because we're currently, at any point of Star Citizen's development, we are only going to get more non-flight gameplay. The airplane is pretty close. Because Star Citizen is always focused on flight first, they're always going to be adding more gameplay that doesn't have to do with flight. So there's the least amount of motivation for somebody to not fly in this game right now. You can't even get places without a ship. That's actually, I'm gonna plug myself here. I don't know why I didn't bring this up before. I made a video about this, and it actually has some pulse statistics. God knows that thumbnail was this one. Yeah.
When you have 5G home internet from...
I always open these videos, you know what? Just always open them on the wrong profile. Obviously including for some overlap. All right. Hey, what do you know? I was looking at this last time we opened this video. So this is a series of some polls I did last year. Last year? This must have been... Yeah, this must have... No, this is 2023 I did this. So there wasn't that much gameplay outside of flying as much in 2023. I mean, we had just gotten salvage and stuff, but still outposts weren't that great. Distribution centers weren't there. There weren't any of these Hathor logos. It was still the Star Citizen of flying around, which I guess we still are in. That's not my point. My point is, there was less non-ship gameplay then than there is now, and that trend will continue. But back then, if you look at all the different ways that people voted, actually, the majority, between Twitter, which got 445 votes, Reddit got 5,000 votes, and YouTube got 2,000 votes. Most people said that they would be, looks like, mostly piloting. But a pretty large amount of people, I think more than 50% of people, said that they would be running crew as well. So even if people are mostly piloting, there's still a lot of room for people who are doing crew time. And again, this is before a lot of people were made aware of how much more crew stuff there would be in Star Citizen. Already side of the pilots or Star Citizen. Many want to spend. Shut up. Yeah, so here's the results of that. You see, the least answered was 100% on foot. Only 2.98% of people said that. And then the total number, do we have the total number of votes here? I don't see total vote number anywhere. Clearly, I did not do a good job at presenting this on here. But the second least answered was 100% piloting. So those are the extremes. Most people don't want to do either of those things. The most answered question in total was 50-50. 50% piloting, 50% on foot. And then the second most after that was mostly piloting with some foot gameplay. Third most was mostly on foot, some piloting. So, like, there's a pretty solid balance of people. But I bet if I run this poll again in a year's time, it would probably weigh more towards this side. I think I'll do that. We'll come back to this sometime in the kind of near future and see what people have to say, because I think that more and more people are willing to run crew over time. But that being said, this is always going to be an interesting topic. I think people are always going to be debating this, and it'll always be a push-pull in Star Citizen. I don't think they're going to get it right. Perfect, I mean. Maybe they'll get it right, but I don't think it'll be perfect. I think big ships will suffer, solo players will suffer, big groups will suffer, and small ships will suffer in some circumstances. But overall, I do think the idea and what they're going for here is worth at least trying, seeing if they can make this work on a large scale. All right, so YouTube voted, 53% of people said they'd be piloting more than 50% of the time. 38% of people said they'd be piloting less than 50% of the time. 5% said always, and 2% said never. Between 75 votes. On Twitch, how the heck do I close the poll? Okay. On Twitch, we got 5, 15, 20, 30. 30 votes on Twitch. How do you want to interact with ships the most? The poll asked. 47% said I want to fly them. 33% said I'll do whatever. 13% said I want to crew. 3% said I want a gun. And 3% said I want to be flown around. So it's definitely a mix. Like, there's a huge mix. The question is that mix a big enough mix that the people who want to fly their big ships around will be able to get seats filled by the people who don't? And honestly, I think that's just going to come down to who are your friends, who are you willing to work with. At the end of the day, you're just not going to get the most out of this game if you're not willing to work with people you don't know. And I think they're gonna have to work on the systems to make that work on the system to make that easier. Like they're looking for group stuff, reputation, and all that stuff. But I think he has a point here that there are going to be empty ships. The solution to that is not for Star Citizen to change the game. I think it's just for them to make it easier to find people and for us to get used to working with people, because that's like the whole idea of the game, right? Wonder how many people want to fly and then crash. Me. What am I even asking? How much people want to fly ships or not? Can you look at my last ping of you? Efficiency is an issue. Combat balance needs more multi-crew in mind. There's no scenario I could think of where one Hurricane is better than 2 F7As. That might be true. Maybe if you have an Idris and you want to have a good amount of firepower, or if you have an Idris and you have more people than ships, or well, more people than you would have space for Hornets, but the Hurricane is bigger, so that might not work. So maybe they give the Hurricane better armor. Or maybe you just have a hand up because the person who's running your co-pilot can also move around your shields and stuff. But I guess small ships only have one shield face. So yeah, you'd have to figure out how to get that to be a more enticing reason to go out. Hello, Mihai. How you doing? Scale that up, Polaris, Idris, fully manned. Well, I think once you can start moving around on the ship, things change. From like the Hurricane, which is just 2 seats and no interior. You asking what people want to do in the game in general, or what people want to do when aboard a ship? When aboard a ship. That's what I'm saying. Specifically on the ship. What do you want to do? You think we'll be redefining what flying a ship will entail in the future? It won't just be up to the pilot. You'll need input from a navigator and engineer. I don't think people will consider that flying. Flying isn't like direct input to guide the ship. Between work and life, there isn't much time to set up group stuff, and being mic shy won't help. I get that. What's up, Kozak? We're about to hop into the game right now, actually. Gumbo, good to see you. Welcome in. I just wanted to run us through this little discussion here and show kind of where the community is. This person says, I prefer turret duty. Sometimes I prefer to be the designated driver. Yeah, but OP is right. Image being just a QED guy, you don't even get guns. I run turrets all the time because my friend group likes to use one ship and we just upsize for how many people are online. And I think that'll happen a lot. And that's why a lot of people are probably agreeing with the whole idea of the QED and the Scorpius, but maybe not as much with the idea that there just won't be crew. Last night I was playing with my organ. Even though we were all capable pilots, we played the whole session in basically one ship doing combat missions and had a blast. I agree 100% with what you say, but I've complained about some things and people respond with, oh, but that's how it is in real life. Yeah, I don't think the real life argument makes a lot of sense. I don't think they're doing manned turrets because that's how real life is. I think they're doing manned turrets because it's just more gameplay. Isn't the main problem with this that we don't have AI crew yet? Yeah, and that will be a problem. See, okay, now here's a good angle. If they're not going to have AI crew at 1.0, but they maybe will have it 2 years after, does that mean they should not design the ships for that too? Or should they keep the AI crew Oh, I just realized I'm not hearing any of my alert stuff. Shame. Why am I not hearing that stuff? Sorry, I don't know if I missed any memberships on YouTube. Stakargord, I see that you became a member today. Appreciate you for that. Thank you. Sorry if I missed any alerts. But yeah, I think they're still going to have NPC crew, which they said, I think Rich Tyrer actually confirmed is still a thing. It's just not 1.0. Is that going to be something that is reliable? I said, I want to reassure everybody that AI blades are part of the 1.0 plan. They will not be as effective as other players, and they will take additional power to run. We will also be offering a way of upgrading them through tiers, but again, they will never be as good player. Also, as they also provide most of the functionality, NPC crew will most likely be a post 1.0 plan. So who knows? Who knows like what this means? But is it reason enough for them to maybe reconsider the way they're designing ships? I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, like, this is still a multiplayer game, and they still want to have seats that multiple people can sit in. That's really what it's all about. Should you contact RSI? It's been 2 days. You've been stuck inside your room. I would see if 4.1 update fixes it. You could contact them as well, but maybe if 4.1 drops this week, then maybe that'll fix it. Most of the functionality sounds bad. What did I say most of the functionality about? Oh, AI blades? Well, no, AI blades are definitely not going to have... I mean, I think he's... I don't think anybody should think that AI blades are going to come anywhere close to what NPC crew could do. AI blades are only going to be things that can control things in your ship. They won't be able to, like, walk around and actually do the things NPC can. No, they're not going to replace fuses or tune components. Like, they're going to control turrets and life support and stuff like that. Can we take a moment to appreciate Pedro's newest posted video of SC's music? It's not long. I think an appreciation break would be great right now. Yeah, I'd love to hit that up. Love his music. Anyways, this was just a quick look at like how the community's feeling about this whole idea of ships and the seats on them. This went on way too long, so I'm probably going to cut a lot of the discussion out when I post this to 2. But just wanted to give you guys a look at what people are saying. Sometimes Reddit has some good discussions going on. Anyways, have a good day. And where would Pedro have posted this? I'm guessing it's on the tweets. Love me some Star Citizen violin music. It just keeps going up. Which planet is this? Pyro 6? Oh, that's quantum music. Right. Nice. Yeah, dude. Freaking love that music. Okay. Let us close this. And close that. Let's jump in game. Let's see how it's working. Let's see how it's performing. How it's doing. Reminds you of Arcane, the music. You know, I don't think I finished Arcane Season 2 yet. I kind of forgot. Oh, that's funny. Gotta switch over to... I always read that as Blue Ski. Hey, no, I don't want this. Get out of here, Discord overlay. Ew. How do I turn this off? All right, so the deal today, like I said, is whoever wants to join, feel free. It's actually coming through really quiet now. I'm in the GII voice channel. Oh wait, I just realized I'm gonna have to be on this computer for Discord now. Okay. Discord. There we go. Voice. How about now? There we go. Okay. So yeah, if anybody wants to come join on GII. Always play with music off for maximum immersion. When is it coming live? I have no idea. But they're working on a potential release candidate today. This song's so intense. I always found it kind of funny how this is like just you're arriving at a city, but it feels like you're marching into war. You know what I hate about Google Drive? Almost everything about navigating it. It's just such a crappy interface. It's so bad. Let's see, today is the 26th. And okay, that doesn't make sense. Here we go. Your favorite thing about Google Drive is when you want to go to the folder where the doc you have opens lives, it's next to impossible. Yeah, that's actually the exact problem I was having when I said that. But then I realized there's no point in me calling that out because I just hate everything about Google Drive. It's just shit. It's funny that it's the longest running cloud storage service and we still can't just use